Hello and welcome. In this video we'll be looking at Velton's Coffee's Brazil Condado. This is one of the coffees that's in a Coffee Lover's box. If this is the first video that you're looking at, I encourage you to look at the overview video about the Coffee Lover's box, get you more information. Just to give you a short summary, Coffee Lover's box includes 3 of my favorite coffees from 3 of my favorite roasters who are around here in Seattle. In this video we're going to be looking at this coffee by Velton. So the Brazil Condado, this is a single origin from Brazil, meaning all of this coffee is from the Condado estate. Now you'll notice with these bags that I have a couple different descriptions on here. Down at the bottom here you'll see the roaster featured on the bag and their description of the coffee. So the Brazil Condado, Velton says, balanced and clean, sweet. A pulp natural coffee with a chocolate nutty body and nice fruit. And then at the top here I have my own description, and this is interesting here because my description is seemingly quite a bit different, but you'll notice if you watched any of my other coffee videos that I like to pull on other taste experiences that are really relatable. So I call this peanut butter, and that's simply because every time I drink this coffee, it reminds me of fresh ground peanut butter. Really delicious. So we're going to have a smell of this and brew it and taste it and see what it's all about. It's really fun smelling this coffee, these Brazils, and I know the producer and they produce some really amazing quality Brazils. It's a really fantastic example of what Brazil by itself is really capable of. Brazil is one of the largest coffee producers, and a lot of Brazil coffees end up being part of the base of espresso blends, and that's because the flavor can translate really well in milk. But by themselves, oh, they are a lot of fun. So I actually get a lot of that like chocolate nuttiness and fruit that Velton mentions on the aroma. But it also kind of reminds me of just a little bit of peanut butter cups, like opening a bag and smelling a bag of peanut butter cups. That's just what I think about. In all these videos, when I'm talking about like these flavors, these seeming flavors of coffee, coffee's really delicate, and there are intricate compounds in there that are capable of a lot of different tastes and aromas. And when we say coffee tastes like something, it's because we taste that and it reminds us of the taste of that thing. It's not that there's peanut butter in here, it's not that there's nuts or chocolate in here, or spice or fruit. Those things aren't in here, but the compounds and acids and fats and stuff that are in the seeds that have come from the growing of the fruit, they inform that taste. And some of those compounds that are in here are in the other things that we taste as well. That's just kind of a short overview of taste of coffee. But I don't want you to think that there's like peanut butter or anything in here. That's just what this makes me think of. It's a very strong taste. So that's a fun smell. Let's go ahead and brew this up, and then we'll be right back. So as I was brewing, I had a smell of the grounds, which is always quite a different experience than smelling the whole bean. But smelling the grounds on this, I was struck very strongly with very, very sweet, like sugary sweet nuts. And it was actually, it was a lot like pecan pie, but it wasn't pecans, but it was that kind of like rich sugary sweetness. It was just billowing out of the grounds. And now we're on to the brew. And the aroma of this brew, it actually turns really delicate. Like I can smell the sweetness, but there's a lot of nuttiness coming off of this. A lot of nuttiness. So as I said in a couple of the other videos, there were a number of ways I could have gone with the box in terms of choosing what coffees were in here. The reason I picked this particular coffee, this Brazil, it's really an excellent coffee. And it tastes vastly different from the other 2 coffees. Like you're gonna notice the taste difference. And I think that alone is really exciting to see just how different coffee can taste even when it's similar. Like this looks similar, like it might even feel similar in terms of some of the taste qualities, but it tastes different. And this is also a really fantastic, as I said earlier, really fantastic example of Brazil coffees. I'm really excited by the coffees coming from this producer, and Velton does a really good job roasting and showcasing this Brazil Condado. So honestly, I'm just excited to share this coffee with you, and that's one of the main reasons it's in here, but it also goes really well just as a contrast in many ways to the other coffees that are in here. So let's have a sip. A lot of good sweetness right off the bat. It's like smooth and sweet. And that's where I get like into peanut butter so quickly, is because of just the smoothness that peanut butter has. And it often has that sweetness as well. But it's a delicate sweetness. It's not like fresh ground honey roasted peanut butter. That would be quite a different quite a different sweetness. But this it just has a presence and a smoothness and a richness that that just makes me think of peanut butter. Lots of nuts. I want to go to Velton's description and try to pull on that, because I'm just going to keep repeating myself about smooth peanut butter, because like I said, that's what I always get when I taste this coffee. But so balanced and clean and sweet. So let's start with there. That's like that smoothness to me. You could call it clean. It is really clean and smooth. There's a good presence though. It's balanced. There's a good like body to this coffee. It's not like tea. It's not going to disappear the tastes when you like add milk or something like that. So chocolatey, nutty body. I could easily get on board with that for sure. It would be a milk chocolate. It would be more of a subtle chocolate. You know, you could drift into even calling this like peanut butter cups too, if you wanted to, just because of that sort of rich sweetness that's kind of wrapping around everything. Could easily be seen as chocolate for sure. And then the fruit. I think the fruit is something that's kind of subtle in the background, and maybe it's also like what's kind of on the brightness. And I honestly wouldn't be able to pinpoint what the fruit is, but you could perhaps call it a fruit juiciness. But I personally don't want to say fruit on this. A lot of this is entirely perspective, and for me, the dominating experience in here is that smooth, sweet nuttiness. This is such an enjoyable drinking experience and so different from the other two. Really good. So that's the Velton Brazil Condado, just like fresh ground peanut butter, as I keep repeating over and over, and as I'm experiencing here. Really smooth and sweet. So if you like the sound of that, there's a limited time to get the Coffee Lovers box, this coffee and 2 others. Again, if you haven't seen the overview video on the Coffee Lovers box, I encourage you to watch that. There are also 2 other videos talking about the other 2 coffees in the box. The Coffee Lovers box is going for $19.95 and shipping is free to US addresses. There is a limited time to get this box. If you're viewing this on the order page for the Coffee Lovers box, you'll see a timer at the top. If you're watching this video somewhere else, you'll see a link to the order page below the video. Please go check it out. Make sure you get the box before the time runs out. Again, the overview video will explain what that's all about, but there is a limited time, so grab your Coffee Lovers box today and don't miss out. Thank you for watching.